business. It's a word we hear every day and can sometimes conjure negative connotations. I'm Anwen Cooper, Director at Get Fruitful Marketing, and by hosting this podcast, I'm on a mission to expose business for what it really could be, a force for greater good. Each episode, we bring personal stories from game-changing entrepreneurs who share what business for good means for them and how they are pioneering new ways of working to create more prosperity and positive impact for people and the planet. So, if you're interested in growing a passion-fueled, purpose-driven enterprise and believe that business can be a force for greater good, then get ready to get fruitful with today's conversation. Hello and welcome to this latest episode of the podcast. And today my guest is me. So I'm going to be in conversation with myself as I was back for episode 10, because today is episode 20, and I just felt like this was a good opportunity to reflect back on the last few episodes as I did in episode 10, reflecting back on the first 9. And I'm just going to be talking today about what I've learned from the conversations that I've had most recently with people, and some of the insights that I've gleaned. And if there are any episodes that you've missed along the way that I mentioned, hopefully this will encourage you to go back and catch up and listen to those. So what I've been thinking as I've been sort of reflecting on these last 9 episodes is, were there any big themes that came out? Were there any common threads that came through these conversations? And I think what I've really taken away is that there are just so many different ways that you can use your business as a force for good. And everybody that I've spoken to has just given really different examples. There are a couple of people who've touched on some of the same subjects, but generally everybody's come up with different examples. And I've spoken to people from such a different range of businesses as well, people with small businesses, people with larger businesses, people with new businesses, people with more established businesses. So yeah, there isn't really any particularly common themes I want to draw out this time. If you go back to episode 10, where I spoke on my own before, I did, I feel, draw out some more common themes, and I summarized them as the 4 ways that you can make your business a greater force for good. And yeah, this time I'm just sort of taking it a slightly different approach. And I'm going to talk through each of the last 9 episodes and some of the interesting things that came up. So back in episode 11, I spoke with Linda Garcia from Alaxi Consulting, and she was talking about how mentoring is something that's really interesting and important to her, and that has a real value in most organizations actually. And she talked about some really personal examples of charitable causes that she had chosen to support, and sort of personal fitness challenges that she'd undertaken to raise money for those causes. So I think her story was really interesting, just hearing her personal journey and some of the things that she has been doing on a very personal level, and with that personal connection. So that's where I'm going to start this review of the last 9 episodes, because Linda was the first in this series. But yeah, I think the message that I took away from Linda was that if you want to use your business as a force for good, it's a really good place to start, just thinking personally, what interests you, what motivates you, how do you want to spend your time, and what are the causes that you personally connect with, and what are the things that you personally would like to do to support those causes through your business. So that's where I'm going to start with episode 11. Linda Garcia, go back and listen to her if that is something that interests you. So episode 12, I spoke to Gardner, and he was talking about putting people at the heart of your business. And that's something that he really does by example. He also recommended a book to me, which I've enjoyed reading since then, called The Dream Manager. And he talks about how that's a whole philosophy that he's put into practice in his own businesses. encouraging your team to share their personal dreams, basically, and using that as a way to bring people together, to help your team think about how they can support each other and how you can support them as well to realize their personal dreams and ambitions, both at work and also outside of work. And we also touched on the subject of the inverted pyramid and non-hierarchical structures within organizations as well, and how as the leader, rather than being at the top, you can think of yourself as being at the bottom of the pyramid, and the fact that you're actually there to serve your team, and your team are there looking for your support as much as the other way around. So I just thought that whole conversation around people and how do you structure your team, how do you support your team and put them at the heart of what you do, really fascinating to hear from James's perspective. So definitely go and check out episode 12 if any of that resonates with you. Episode 13, we invited Jade Pluck from Jade Consultancy to talk about how you can make your business more environmentally sustainable. And that's obviously her area of expertise. And we had that conversation around the time of COP26, and that was obviously very much in the news at the time. And we also talked about net zero and how that's a movement that businesses are really getting behind at the moment. And she gave some really useful, very practical actions and examples of things that you can do in your business, and yeah, lots of resources as well that she shared. So if you are embarking on that journey to net zero, or you just want to find some simple things that you could do to make your business greener, then definitely go and listen to that conversation with Jade Pluck, episode 13. Episode 14, we had Paul Dunn speaking from B1G1. They are the social giving movement that I am a member of through my business, Get Fruitful Marketing. And he talked about the magic of small and how you can be a standout business. And I always find Paul really inspiring. He's a very motivating speaker, and B1G1 is a fantastic organisation. And I'm really proud to be part of them and supporting what they do. And I just really enjoyed hearing Paul speak about how the fact that you're a small business, no matter how small you are, shouldn't be something that holds you back. And there's, so much impact that you can have no matter the size of your business. So that was really empowering and encouraging to hear. And also the fact that you can choose to stand out, and part of what makes you stand out is your values and the impact that you have in the world. So finding ways to stand out for what you believe in is really important in being a force for good. So yeah, check out that episode number 14 with Paul Dunn if any of that interests you. Episode 15, we had another Paul come on to speak, Paul Crick from the Elevate Partnership. And I loved what he was saying about thinking about it's who you are that's really important as much as what you do. So thinking about how to be and who you want to become in the future is as important as what you want to have or do. And I also really enjoyed hearing him speak about how he is working with people to encourage them to become better ancestors. So helping people think about their legacy, thinking ahead, in terms of generational impact rather than just the here and now, and what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, affecting people around us, and making changes to people's daily lives in the present, but actually thinking about what impact are we leaving for the future, really, really long term. So yeah, really loved that perspective. So check out episode 15 with Paul Crick if that's something you want to think about. If you'd like to make your business a greater force for good, increase your impact and income while fulfilling your passion, purpose, and potential, then the Get Fruitful Marketing Health Check is a great place for you to start. It's all online and can be accessed from the Get Fruitful homepage, getfruitfulmarketing.com. The health check takes just 3 minutes and will give you an instant personalized report with insights to make your marketing more fruitful. So hop on to getfruitfulmarketing.com, take your health check now, and make your marketing more fruitful today. Episode 16, we had Jenny Kitchen come and speak about her journey to becoming registered as a B Corp. Now, the B Corp movement is something that's really gaining pace. Apparently, the UK is the second biggest and the second fastest growing country around the world for B Corp. B Corp is a registration process that you can go through to get some kind of accreditation and an objective stamp of approval on how you run your business as a force for good, basically. So she talked about what it's like to go through that process and the benefit of going through that process and how it's impacted positively for her digital design agency, Yo-Yo. So yeah, if you're interested in B Corp or thinking about going through that process yourself, or just sort of interested to know more about what it is, definitely go and listen to episode 16 with Jenny Kitchen. Episode 17, we had Fleur Record-Smith speak about her business, Hayne House, which is a beautiful wedding venue. And everything that she does is very much taking into account environmental sustainability. And she's done great work there to make her business a really fantastic example of a truly green business. And she shared a bit about the last 2 years in particular. Obviously, the hospitality industry has been really affected by the pandemic and having to be closed for quite a lot of that time. But she was really inspiring and just talking about how she'd turned that into a big opportunity to actually take time to review a lot of what they're doing and to make some really significant changes and to really get her team engaged with it as well. So where I think Jade, Pluck back in episode 13 gave some really practical examples of things you could do from a consultant's perspective, I think Fleur did a really good similar job of giving practical examples of things she's actually done in her business to hopefully inspire others as well. So go and listen to Fleur, episode 17, if you want to make your business greener and get some top tips from somebody who's actually been there and done that and made those changes themselves. Episode 18, we welcomed Luke Bessant from School of Marketing and also fellow marketing consultant. And that was just really great to chat to another marketer. It's the first time I've done that on the podcast so far. And really enjoyed hearing him talk about the work that he's doing with the School of Marketing and their mission, which is around making marketing a more accessible and diverse field and welcoming new people into this profession and into this sector who might not otherwise have considered marketing as a career choice. So that was very interesting, just hearing about that. So yeah, if you're interested in the field of marketing or in ways in which you might consider making your industry or your business or your field of expertise something that's more accessible and making it more diverse to young people in particular, check out episode 18 with Luke. And that brings us to the last episode, which is episode 19. And we had Rebecca Robertson as our guest, talking from her company, Evolution Financial Planning, all about personal finance and also being an entrepreneur, and ethical investment is her area of specialism. So we talked about lots of things, including how you can reduce the amount of time that you spend working in your business and increase your impact, generate more wealth for yourself and for others, and how you can use that wealth in an ethical way through your investment choices. So yeah, as I say, that is the last 9 episodes, and they are so varied, all of those different people's perspectives and the types of businesses that they're working in and their messages as well. So I found it really hard, as I say, to sum up quickly what the common themes were this time, because we touched on so many different subjects. But, you know, hopefully you'll take something from all of those conversations that is something practical that you could put into action in your business to make what you do a greater force for good. And I'm really interested, as ever, to hear if you are enjoying the podcast, if you've listened to all of the episodes so far, or even just one or two. I'd love you to get in touch, leave a comment, share this with other people that you think might be interested. And I'm really looking forward to carrying the series on. I have got lots more episodes coming up, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you soon. So thank you again for listening today. Thank you for supporting the podcast so far, and I look forward to many more conversations and your feedback to come. If you enjoyed this conversation, please do hit the like, comment and share buttons to help us reach a wider audience and grow the potential for business to be a greater force for good in the world. And do subscribe if you would like to receive notifications when we release new episodes. Thanks for listening.